Hola Colchoneros, this is Alex and I have with me Saint Keeks as usual and welcome to Atleti Fanatics. Unfortunately, we are out of the Club World Cup and in such a bizarre manner as well. I mean I don't like how to put this one to be honest. Like it's one of those like unlucky things and at this point I believe that the word unlucky in dictionary should be replaced by Atletico de Madrid because it's just keeps on coming and coming. Like can't even say like how many times like we lost a match or like we've been out for competition for something which is definitely wasn't in our
Hmm.
not in our control to be honest because again I have so many matches like by Leverkusen won the penalty miss, and then again the Champions League 2014, 2016. And the list just goes on and on. Even like the last season, Julián Álvarez double touch, and then these unlucky things like keep happening to us for some reason. I don't understand. Like someone has a juju on our club or something because like seriously it's like some I think like someone has to put some holy water in Metropolitano, either like get it from Vatican City or like get it from River Ganga because it's really like bizarre to be honest. Like we finished the group with 6 points. So the group A, which is again Inter Miami, Palmeiras, they finished the group on 5 points each, and then again they're qualifying, and I think PSG fucked us over as well. Obviously, two times, not even once. Well, one was 4-0, and the second time when they lost to Botafogo. Like even a draw would have been perfect for us. But again, like I said, like we are literally like we are. I think we are the unluckiest team in the world, to be honest. Like we have to, and it's not easy being an Atletico de Madrid fan. That's for sure. But anyway, now let's just talk about like the. These are like the thoughts which come up to your mind because things doesn't really go our way for some reason, and let's just talk about the match. So basically, we all knew we needed 3 goals against Botafogo to qualify for the next round. And did we play like that? In the first 10 minutes, not really. And after the 10 minutes, I think like we did start like getting some possession, but again, I think we were really lacking like to penetrate their defense because again they were having the low block like we discussed because they're gonna have a low block just like we discussed, and they were defending quite well, and like we were just struggling to make chances, and then obviously, uh, small moments matter as well. Something which goes in your favor. For example, like the Julio Alvarez penalty. Like not even once, like twice. That's big.
Three times.
Thrice you can say. Thrice you can say. But I think like the third time I can't really because like he got the ball and then like he got Julian Alvarez leg. But I can't really like say like surely, but like 2 times for sure.
Okay.
2 times for sure. But like these things they do have like go our way. But anyway, like I said, like the referee should be the last person we should be like relying on to be honest. But when things like this happen, like literally like the short penalties are not given. I don't know what to say to you. Maybe like Botafogo was wearing the white jersey. The referee thought like, oh, hang on, is this Real Madrid or something? But anyway, we just can't get a hold on. And funny enough, the first half, the first chance is for Botafogo. Literally, I think it was Arthur. I can't remember. Like he was 1v1 against Oblak, and Oblak with again with the experience he have, he knew like he's gonna shoot on the right hand side, and like he literally guessed it and like saved it perfectly. Like that could have
Can I
been like game over in the
can I
first 10 minutes.
ask can I ask what your thoughts were in that moment while Otto was about to make that shot?
I literally thought it's gonna be 1-0 to be honest for some reason because like he was literally 1v1. There was like massive space. Lorente came to press him, and then he played a through ball, and then Lenormand was like nowhere to be seen, and like somehow like he was trying to recover, and then he was just like 1v1. I thought like he's gonna dribble past Oblak because Oblak came a lot. Uh, I think he was literally on the not on the edge, but like still like somewhere on the edge on the goal line. But yeah, like it was a great save from Oblak. Obviously, like he saved us, and like he's done it so many times. But anyway, moving on, let's just start with the first. Before we start actually talking about like the whole match, let's just go on like what this means now. So basically, the news were like we were expecting at least 60 million out of this competition, 60 million, and we are left with 24 million. Like we are going back with 24 million euros. Now the funny thing is like how the fuck the board can expect us to be like to bring 60 million when you don't invest anything for the Club World Cup. I mean, like, if you really want like money, invest it and like invest it. Like you might get like good return, just like we do in stock market. Like invest it, you might get a good return. At least like like you're giving something to the coach. But again, that happens and they're expecting 60 million, which is a joke actually. And then I don't know what to say to be honest. It's we are the first team to beat a Brazilian side in the Club World Cup, and we are the first team to get knocked out of the Club World Cup as well. So yeah,
European team, first European team to get knocked out.
first European team exactly, and everyone's having a laugh at us. And it's funny, and like everyone's having a laugh at us. Like they don't really know our situation to be honest. They I see Barca fans and Real Madrid fans making these stupid takes like what like doesn't even make sense. Like
No,
someone on the
no.
outside, someone on the outside saying something about Atleti doesn't make sense. I mean like because like we have to be on the inside to know about the club. But anyway, we'll just start off with the first half. Before we start with the first half, Skin Kicks, your thoughts about the match.
My thoughts were, I came into this, I think when we saw in the preview, I came into this with a sort of a, not really expecting too much. Like I'd be very happy if we did win it by three plus goals. But the reality to me was what I saw in the previous parts of the tournament, what I was expecting in this game wasn't very high. So what I saw in this game, kind of par for the course. I don't like to be right when my team is playing poorly. I don't understand some of the decision making from Simeone on the game. I think we saw in the Seattle game with the Koke Barrios and the Paul midfield an insane amount of chance creation coming out of Barrios, coming out of Giuliano, because there was always an option for Giuliano, be it with Solot or Alvarez or even Barrios. In this game, De Paul kind of was just hugging the touchline, wasn't really doing an insane amount of stuff in terms of the ball. He was actually quite poor, but he was poor for the last like two other games before that too. I'm not sure what we were expecting today. You can't play a player into form. Like you can play players, give them a chance, and these other things. But when you look at what he has been so far in the tournament, you have to say, look, this is a must-win game. I cannot rely on XYZ player. But then at the same time, you turn around and you say, oh, well, if DePaul isn't playing, who's going to play now? It's like, there's really only Gallagher as another midfielder. And Gallagher wasn't particularly great today either. So there's no, you have to sit down and you say, well, we don't really have quality of depth in midfield. We don't really have depth in midfield. There's Barrios, Koke, who's a little bit past it in terms of his legs. There's DePaul, who's up and down, dependent on if he's in a relationship with Tini or not. There's Barrios, who's fantastic again, but and then there's Gallagher, who we haven't really given him a definitive role, of which we know his best role is on the right, and it likes him to be a little more of an attacking midfielder kind of vibes. Of which Giuliano, you can't really give him that role because Giuliano's been too good for us. So now, well, you look around and you say, well, that's our four midfielders. That's it. Okay. What is the solution to the next fixer? Do you look at the academy? Obviously not. We're not going to do that. That's not how our motto is for some reason. So then are you going to look at the market? We had two midfielders lining up who really wanted to play with us before the tournament. Our board said, nah, we need to be cheap. So every time you look at the mistakes, you look at the situation for Atletico, this is a game where you wanted the most out of everybody. And I felt like when I watched that game, especially the first half, I saw maybe four, maybe 5 players who really, really wanted to get to that next stage. I saw Oblak, I saw Alvarez, I saw Barrios, I saw Giuliano. Llorente was trying, but he was really not in good form. De Paul was awful. Gallagher, I didn't really expect or see much. Galan was trying more than usual. That doesn't mean much because it didn't really add up to anything in that game. And then I didn't see much from Solat. I didn't see much from Longley. I didn't see much from Lamond. It's like it's kind of like you if half of your team doesn't care to be there, what are we really doing? You know, I think it wasn't a matter of tactics that went wrong yesterday. It was just a matter of mentality, and some of these players just don't want to be here. And if they don't want to be here, you have to consider, well, what can we get from them in the transfer market? You know. So yeah, thoughts on the first half?
True, but I mean, like we can't really like sell the whole team. Obviously, like just keep 2 3 players and like sell
Obviously,
it. But and I mean, like I can understand like that. I mean, like I can understand the perspective as well. Maybe they weren't really like familiar with the conditions. I would say because I don't know. Like for me, like whenever they played like they played that 12 p.m. kickoff, like it felt like they were running on sand for some
yeah,
reason. Like they just like couldn't like get in the groove. That sharpness. I didn't really like see that, except from Julian Alvarez as well. But except from that, I think like I don't know, like it felt really weird watching them play. It's like they literally, it's like the ground is like like sinking them in. It's like they can't run. It's like their legs like they feel heavy. But anyway, let's just talk about the first half. So, I mean, like, what should I say? The first half, I mean, again, the same thing. I mean, like, the quality, like, for example, like when we were attacking, so, like, when the ball goes to Pablo Barrios or when the ball goes to Julian Alvarez, I mean, like, you could see, like, something can happen. You can see the quality, that through pass in the middle, that pass, like, the progression pass. Whereas, like when you see like the Paul Gallagher or anyway, I'm like you didn't really like expect that kind of thing. I mean, like, and there were only 2 players like who were doing this like progression passes or like dribbling pass players. That's it. And the rest, I don't know like what they were doing to be honest. It's like they were just trying to like play simple. They were not trying to be brave enough, I would say. But I mean, like it was just like too many loose passes in the first half. Even in the second half, actually, like I saw it from Depol. I saw one pass from Depol where I think he was switching. Literally, like he kicked the ball outside. I was,
I
I
remember.
was
I remember that pass.
like, I don't like what you say from the. I mean, like we knew like Botafogo will go on like low block from minute one. Like we knew that, and but again like we discussed this on the preview as well. Like like we're not really good. Like penetrating teams when they have a low block on us, and that's exactly what happened. And Julian Alvarez was trying to unlock the defense. That's it. No one else. Anyway, moving on for the first half. I think our game was like relying on those crosses from the wings, whether it's Javi Galan or it's Giuliano Simeone, because like the space was on the white side, and Giuliano Simeone or Llorente or Javi Galan or the left hand side Gallagher. I think Gallagher wasn't like really like playing like not hugging to the touchline, but I think Javi Galan was it, and like the quality of the crosses, they were like just so poor. I would say, literally so poor. Even the ball. I mean, I don't know like what the hell he was doing. Giuliano, I saw him like trying like crossing the ball and like he just I don't know like the grounded like he was trying for a far post and like he just couldn't like lift the ball up. It was just like going a grounded cross. I mean like, the quality of crosses was really bad. And again, we saw what happens. What happened like when for once we crossed the ball really good. It fell to Sorloth and like we had like the first chance and again we had that penalty chance of Julian Alvarez as well, which I think was a penalty for sure. The first one was a penalty. I mean, there is contact. I mean, like you can't say like he was already falling over. There are like
No
the
VAR check though.
exactly. There was twice the contact was twice, and then again the second one again a cross, which actually unlocks the defense of Botafogo. And then you tell me like the Sorloth pushed the player and like whatever. I mean, like the player didn't even appeal for that foul. It literally carried on with the game. And the funny thing, like when they were checking, the referee wasn't going to the screen. He was just avoiding players, like just like walking in that middle circle. It's like it felt like he doesn't want to go to the screen for some reason. He wasn't interested at all, and like I think like he was maybe saying to the VR, like like can you find me something that can like and they did, and that's exactly what happened because we all know like with any other team the referee is so quick with this. They are so quick with this, and with us he was literally dodging players, like the player was literally he was just dodging, walking left right. He was just talking like like find something so that like we can cancel this thing, and they did. I mean like I'm telling you, the Botafogo defender, I think it was
Victor
Cunha, I guess.
Barbosa.
Victor Barbosa or Cunha, who was it?
The one who was with against Solot,
The
is
one
it?
who got pushed.
Yeah, it was Cunha.
Yeah, it was Cunha, right? Yeah, I think Cunha didn't even like thought about this. He was fouled or something because again there was no complaint on that perspective. It was just
I
about the penalty.
It wasn't
That's it.
even. He didn't even use his arms. That's the part that's so confusing. He jumped up straight. Like Solot is like 6'4" or 6'5" or something. He's strong. He's big, and he jumped up, challenged for the header. Cunha gets pushed off, doesn't complain, moves right back into the defensive position, and then and
Exactly.
then
I mean, it's a contact sport. Like it's gonna happen some contact. Like like they're gonna you see this pushing and shoving like all the time in the corners. Like do you cancel goals at that time? No. Which I think were bizarre. I think like they were finding like some excuses to get. I mean like let's just not talk about the referees. I mean like I can. This will turn into like an hour show to be honest because again the red card against Nuno Mendes not given. Our goal. I mean like I would say maybe it's a 50-50. I can't really say like a perfect call because again, Due,
I think if the referee
he
doesn't
lost the
give it
ball. He lost
initially,
the
we
ball.
shouldn't go
Due
too
lost.
far.
Okay. The second one, and then we go to the Lenormand penalty. I mean, he was literally had like this. It hit him like over here. He literally had like almost with his body. But anyway, then the second match, Seattle match, again, a penalty not given, a clear penalty not given. And then we come today. I mean, like two penalties, and then even the fouls. So like when they are fouling us, oh, it's physical play, it's allowed. When we fouling them, oh, hang on, like how dare you touch him?
Yellow.
Exactly. How dare you touch him? That kind of a thing. But anyway, um, I don't even like what to say about the referees. Like it was, we were the victim of literally bad refereeing for the past three matches, and but again, we can't rely on the referees because again, we created chances in this game as well. We could have scored three goals easily. We just needed that momentum. We had those chances in this game as well. I mean, like we created like three XG and that too, like with like non-penalty goals. So it says a lot. It says a lot. But anyway, oh, we just might do one more thing. Do you remember like the Barrios foul not given on the edge of the box
In the first half?
in the first half? Yes,
Yes, I
Barrios
remember
got
that
out
place.
edge of the box. Exactly. I mean, even the commentators like they said, I mean that's a foul. And he literally gave a foul away on the other end, which was really funny. I mean, like I don't know. You know what? Like I sometimes feel like we're not really serious about this stuff. I mean, you look at Real Madrid; they literally go for the
I think,
referee. They literally make the referee's life hard. And like
yeah,
when these things keep happening to us, we don't do anything, and the referees, I think the referees take us very lightly. I think it's high time like we should do something about it because again like these things is going to happen and like it's been happening with us for like past I don't know like how many years, and it will keep happening unless until like we take a stand for this. I mean like it's not like you're doing something wrong, you're just calling out what's wrong.
hmm
That's it. There's nothing wrong in that. But anyway, the first half I would say again we were not really precise enough in the final third. Again, they Paul had a really bad game. I mean, like this I mean, like I think like if the board was like looking for an excuse to sell him this summer, and like I think he has given them a really good excuse to sell him this summer
yep.
with his contract running out in 2026 as well. Because I mean, like the board is looking to like cash him. You know, I think DePaul hasn't like justified. That statement, I would say, because DePaul, I think like we really needed DePaul in this tournament because again, like with DePaul is our only creator in the midfield. If Barrios is playing as a number five, DePaul is our only creator, and like if Barrios is up front, then Barrios like goes on to create something. But again, DePaul had to step up, and like he did not. And with his inconsistency, and I don't know, with his contract running out as well, maybe Atletico might look for different options. Maybe. And I won't be surprised if DePaul is sold this summer. I won't be, but I'll be happy to keep him. I'll be happy to keep him in the team because you know it's just I don't know. It's just different vibe with DePaul. But again, like he was really awful to be honest.
I agree.
Uh, Never mind. Then we had our first chance again for the first half. I think it was like the same thing where Alvarez could have shot first time. Yeah, I think he missed it, and then yeah, the player cleared it and like it hit his leg. But again, that came from a cross as well. Like I said, like I think the crossing, like good crossing, was the key for this match, and we didn't really execute it enough. And I again they fall back to the ball. I think the way he was crossing was really, really frustrating for me. He was literally chipping the ball, literally giving time to the defender and the keeper to come out of his line as well. Why can't like whip it? You know
He's being too cautious with his crossing.
exactly. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Like the literally 70% of the fan base has been against the poll since yesterday. I can see on the timeline they're asking for the poll to be solved. But do let us know, guys, what do you think about the poll situation right now? Would you be happy to keep him, or like, if a good offer comes, like, would you sell him? I mean, like, I would say like if offer around 35 million, even 30 to 40 million comes, I think yeah we should consider it. But anyway, then I think that much only I can remember for the first half. What do you think about the first half, Saint Geeks?
Um, to follow up on what you already said, I think I think it was just like it you saw in these moments, these times where it's like, especially the crossing was really, really poor. So it's like we have Solot there, and we're trying to take advantage of his size and his capability of creating space for himself. So I was a little disappointed when Llorente and Giuliano weren't linking up like they normally did. I was a little disappointed when the ball, anytime he had a pass the ball, it was just way too soft or straight up out of the play. I The left hand side just had Galan. Gallagher didn't really show up like he was supposed to. He had one chance where Galan, had he decided to pass the ball a lot sooner, Galan could have probably moved it onto his right foot and maybe taken a proper shot. Maybe gotten an early goal around, I think it was like around 20 minutes into the game. But there's so many different aspects of that game that left me a little frustrated because it's like anytime Botafogo started their counter attack, and they kept on just cutting through our midfield like consistently. And then anytime it came to the back line, I just felt scared because I didn't believe that our defenders were fast enough to really compensate and try and take them on. Llorente seems to be a little out of gas, like he's not quite 100%. So there was a sort of a, okay, well, they're just attacking our flanks because Llorente is going further forward to compensate for us going forward. And Galan, be it further forward or backwards, he wasn't really going to do anything anyway. So you have Longley and Lenormand against Igor Jesus and Arthur, and it's just like constant like waves of it. And I think in a different, even though I think the XG probably doesn't agree with that, I think if on a different day this could have been a really bad start, maybe even a worse finish to the first half. Because when you look at how fast our centre backs are, they're not. They're really, really not. I think besides Reynaldo, who's not necessarily a centre back, nobody in our centre back line is particularly fast. Witzel is a little past it because of his ankle injury. Lonomond and Longley never had it. Jimenez is okay at it, but he's not particularly fast himself. So it's like having a fast centre back should be one of our priorities. I don't know why we kept Longley knowing he wasn't fast, and we had the other centre backs who weren't fast. But Like it's not the first time it got so exposed. It was
I
exposed.
think yeah. I think Longley. I think is for like again like he's a defender like who can actually like progress the ball. Like he can find
Yeah.
that he can find those through balls. And like I don't really have complaints about Longley in this match. I think like he had a decent game. I can't
He
really
did.
say much about Longley in this match.
I wouldn't say no, but the problem wasn't necessarily that is Longley's fault and whatever. It's more so a matter of why would you have Longley here, knowing that Lonomond has these failures? You paid for Lonomond. You paid 40. This is our defensive sign, like biggest ever defensive signing, right? You paid 40 million for Lonomond. You know what his traits are because you put down big money for him. Why then are you cheaping out to try and get a partner for him when we have somebody else? And it's not even that Longley can't do through balls and these other things because he can. We've seen him do it. He has the capability. He just doesn't do it often for us. He will put a long ball over the top. He'll put maybe a nice little short passes, but he doesn't do much outside of that in terms of our build up. When and even then, that's not really the point I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on Longley. I want to focus on the fact that our structure is in a place where they're exposing our centre backs who are already not particularly aggressive and good at what they do. So Barrios is basically having to cover a ton of the midfield. And DePaul is, I don't know where DePaul is. I don't know what DePaul was doing that game. But DePaul is nowhere. Gallagher is trying to is not really quite where you need him to be. This would have been a situation where you kind of wanted Gallagher to be a little further back to compensate for Galan going forward and maybe play as a sort of a left back slash midfielder kind of hybrid to compensate for those counter attacks. That isn't what happened. And anytime the counter attack started, it was just Barrios against three players. And if he got past, which obviously he would, now you have three players against two centre backs who are not particularly comfortable against counter attacks. And then in the opposite side, and it's not even like you're taking this risk with the assumption that we're creating a lot of chances. That's not what was happening. We were just weren't really creating a ton of stuff. We had those moments that you just mentioned, for instance, the Alvarez moment where he just missed it. He had from the cross, we had the two different penalty shots. We had like Solot had a good game in terms of being useful as a centre forward. He just didn't do much outside of it. You know? It was just a frustrating because you saw Alvarez who was dropping deep into the midfield to compensate because there was no movement in the midfield. You saw him literally running back with the team to stop counter attacks before they happened. I saw him fall one of I think Igor Jesus before he got to the final third. And I'm like, why is Alvarez here? And why is DePaul not here? Like I was like, what's going on? Why is Llorente not there? Why are these like why is he doing your role? You know? And it was a little frustrating because
I think with Llorente, I think again, I can't really say much about Llorente as well. I think Llorente in the second half, like he was really vital. I mean, like Llorente in the second half, like just
much
came
better.
up
Much better. But
exactly, exactly.
the frustration isn't necessarily coming from Noah. Is like he hasn't had an amazing tournament, really. But even then, I don't want to single out players so much as it is, I think, is a matter of the coach understanding this is where my players are right now. This is what is available to me right now. Jimenez is injured. I don't have any other center midfielders to help to sub out DePaul, who is not playing well. Griezmann is not playing great. Correa is much better off the bench. What are my options? How do I beat a low block? And you look at the squad and you realize we don't really have that many. Like if Griezmann and DePaul are not playing, we don't have something to beat a low block. We maybe have Barrios, you know? That's it. And you kind of have to sit down. It's like the goal that came in the second half was from Alvarez just making a play himself. Like he got tired and made a play, and then Griezmann gets a goal. But in the first half, you see the frustration of us just not really properly pushing and taking our chances because there wasn't anything to really do. We don't have those guys. We don't have those profiles to really push our team to that next spot that we should be pushing. That's something we should be focusing on in the next half, I guess. But also, I want to talk about the arbitration in terms of missing those penalties, not getting those penalties. The referee just not want to hearing anything Atletico want to talk about. I think when we complain, is the players who complain, and if they complain, it's easy for a referee to just give him a yellow card or a red card or whatever it is. Same for Simeone. Simeone, like the worst possible thing a referee can get from Atletico when it comes to making a really scandalous situation or these other things is maybe a cuss out from Simeone and then giving him a red card so he can't play any more games. The board will not do anything. The board will not say, I see what you've done, so I'm going to write a formal letter of complaint. I'm going to dock your pay or these other things, whatever it is, right? Not to say that's the standard thing, but it's like you should be saying if you're going to you're competent with your job, I should be able to talk about you to your employers, which I am on that level, and give you something to talk about because we have, as you mentioned, in 2016 in the recent Atletico Real Madrid game. Uh, um, I can't remember how many different times over the years in La Liga there was a season where we got one penalty. You know what I mean? Like it's this is what like you get run over because you allow them to run over you. As an institution, we allow people to just step all over us, and it's really disappointing because one of these games is atrocious. All three of the games having the same level of refereeing with three different individuals, a whole set of other VAR rooms, and these other things is not a coincidence. And it's not like a conspiracy either. It's not like they hate Atletico. Unlike what I was saying in the first game, I was a little intense. But unlike in the first game, it's not a conspiracy. It's just we're just not going to do anything about it. If a referee is not feeling to play to coach to do what he needs to do against Atletico, what's going to happen to him? He's not going to lose anything. He's just going to go to the next game. So, in that sense, and with that kind of attitude, we shouldn't be focusing on referees that like that. I mean, that's not our job or the players' thing. That's the board job, which they'll never do. But when it comes to the game plan, I think tactically we are set up well. I think the execution was just very very far off, and there wasn't really another option. Like, who are you going to put on Taufik? You're going to put on Ryan? Give them their debut in a must-win game.
Not to mention, no debuts in this tournament as well. I mean, it's
Well,
disappointing.
um, like the options have to be coming from somewhere. We'll see what happens with preseason, but you have to look at your profiles and genuinely say, not much we could do. I guess with this team, it's like Jimenez is out, so you're gonna put in Aspilicueta or Witzel or Reynaldo. Maybe they do something a little bit better for you, but not much. You know, I mean, it's a shame though. Witzel had a really good second half, scored a goal for us, defended really well, and then we just put him right back onto the bench. He just nothing doing.
Let's just talk
No,
about the. Let's just talk
yeah.
about the
Let's
second
let's
half.
talk about the second half.
Uh, this is a lot of first half. So okay, so basically again, so we made a substitution. Griezmann came on. Koke came on. I think Koke had a decent game coming off the bench. I think like he controlled the midfield pretty well. Griezmann, I would say, another stinker. Even though he scored the goal, it doesn't change the fact that like he played literally shit. Like when he came on, like fine, like he had a tap in, good for you. But like it's the 87th minute. Like what are we gonna do? Like somehow like literally become, I don't know, Godzilla or something. Like literally push for those three goals within like the last 3-4 minutes. I mean, it doesn't really change the fact. I think Korea again, still Korea when he came on, Korea still had some moments where he actually tried to create some chances. But again, Griezmann had another stinker to be honest. But
Korea's on
the
his way out and he's playing like that. You know?
exactly, and again talking about Korea, Korea like had he dribbled past the Botafogo player. He came inside, crossed the ball. Griezmann was what was he doing? He was back healing that chance. Like I mean, I don't know. And like when Griezmann literally just came on, he had those three crosses, literally shit crosses, and like I don't know what to say. I mean, like I was already like frustrated and like because of all the crossing, like all the shit crosses from Javi Galan and like Giuliano as well, and then even from DePaul, and then Griezmann came on, like he said, like oh I can do even better. Like watch this, like straight to the keeper's hand, like I was really frustrated with Griezmann to be honest. Like I think like again we need to sign a good forward up front because Griezmann he's losing his legs. Like the age catches up to the player. Like again, like this will keep happening. Like it will frustrate the fan base again. But like we have like see the other perspective as well. Like he's losing his legs. Like he's not really like the same Griezmann he used to be. So the frustration will follow definitely. Like it has to be that kind of like a moderate situation in Real Madrid. Like like you come off the bench, you get those few minutes, and you dictate the game for us. So, like Griezmann can have that role for next season. Just like come off the bench for those 30, 20 minutes, dictate the game for us. But again, like now over here, like we're needing Griezmann like to change something, to change the outcome of the match. Which again, like Griezmann's time's almost up. Like Griezmann is not that kind of a player anymore. Like you'll expect something, like extraordinary out of him because again, like he's catching up with his age. That's what I'm saying. Like we need to sign a good forward up front. We need to have a good competition up front with Sorloth. Again, talking about Sorloth as well, we had the first chance. Sorloth could have scored that easily. That was an easy hitter to the front post. He missed that chance. We really needed it. I think it was around the 60th minute, 70th minute. That should have been one
somewhere
zero.
around there.
That should have been 1-0. Again, I mean, like, Sorloth had a very, very bad tournament as well in terms of finishing. I would say, like, the link up play and everything, Sorloth had a good tournament. With finishing, a really, really bad tournament, I would say. I mean, like, you're a striker. Like, I'm expecting you to score goals. You're not a midfielder. I'm expecting you to
That's
link.
your main role. That's your main thing.
Exactly. Like people are saying, like like Sorloth is like like he is a good player and whatever. Like he should be our main number nine. Like like he's there for the chances. He's creating those chances. Yeah, fine. Like, are we gonna get like 0.5 goals for that thing? You know, like it doesn't. I mean, like the ball has to hit the net. It has to hit the net. That's his job to score goals. And like if we can't do that, like we need to look for a good striker in the market. And like again, we all know Darwin Nunes is probably heading to Napoli. Arsenal is almost going for Benjamin Sesko. All the Atletico Madrid fans know which player I'm talking about. Which player is actually like
It's not
like
happening.
if
If we're gonna cheap out on our
every
defense, we're not gonna spend big on
if
our offense.
I mean, like every Atleti fan knows what they're manifesting. They want the Swedish guy from Portugal, which I see not really happening to it. I don't think we're gonna spend 60 million, or I think it's not gonna be just 60 million. I think it's gonna be more than that as well. But I think the club has to spend. And now, again, the talking point is the fact that the club was expecting at least 60 million out of the tournament, and we just got 24. Are you gonna cheap out more? This kind of worries me, to be honest. So
Uh,
the board projected 60 million out of this tournament. We just got 24 million. We're going back home with 24 million euros. So yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Are we gonna cheap out on some of our targets?
for sure.
It's a possibility for sure. It's a possibility for sure. But I don't understand. Like you have all the sponsorships, you have players leaving, you have your like your salary cap reducing as well with Witzel, Aspilicueta, Angel Correa. I mean,
You spread out Griezmann's salary over 2 years now too.
exactly. I mean, like you do have the money. You do have the money. You do have the
It's
money.
beast.
You got the 50 million for the Club World Cup as well. You got the 24 now, and then again, then you earned in the Champions League as well. There's revenue as well. It's not like we going in a loss. So I don't understand like why the club has to like wait for those again
That
60
money,
million. How they
that,
projected the 60 million thing.
that money
But
isn't for us, though. That money isn't going to the same hands as it always will be, as it always has. As well, the one time that we've spent a lot of money in the past maybe 5 years was when we got fourth place last season, and that was because the club realized, oh shit, we haven't been spending at all, and our club actually is really bad, and other teams are catching up to us. Shock. Like maybe if we spend this amount of money, we'll separate ourselves, and we did, but that's all we did. So
anyway, talking about the match again, I think like we left it too late. 87th minute, I think the game was done. Botafogo were trying really hard, and I think like the best football we played in the whole match was after the 87th minute, when we actually like could really like pressured them. Before that, I think like again it was our forwards had a really bad tournament as well. Zero goals from our forwards. The two goals came from our midfielder Pablo Barrios, and then one goal came from a defender Witzel, and then one goal came from Griezmann again, which again was having a stinker of a game. I think the second half for me, I would have changed the ball for Koke for sure. I would have kept Gallagher on.
Koke came on in the what minute?
I think it was around 60, something like this.
What was the point of not starting him?
I think Gallagher starting was maybe because like he wanted like a ball winner in the midfield, and Gallagher did win some balls in midfield. I think he wanted that kind, or maybe also I think like he wanted like someone who can press up front, who can keep that pressure on.
Yeah,
So in that way, I think Gallagher starting made sense to me.
I
But
agree.
anyway,
But what did the poll offer to us that made him start this game?
nothing, nothing. It's just optimism. Maybe he can do something. That's it, and that's why I said like I think DePaul should have been subbed off for Koke instead of Gallagher. Uh, but anyway, I mean like again the game again came from Julian Alvarez as well. He was trying to create something, and like he did create something as well. He was the only one who was actually like, progressing the ball in the final third. Who was actually gonna like like whenever the ball was on his feet, you would feel something might happen. Same with Pablo Barrios. Other than that, I would say the 9 players I didn't really expect anything from them. But anyway, so yeah, 1-0. I mean, like, I'm really happy actually. Like, we didn't really like end the match in an embarrassment, like a draw or a loss. 1-0. I'll still, at least, like, like it's not embarrassing enough.
The
But
quiz continues. I didn't see Botafogo win. Wow.
true, true, true. But I think like for my takeaway from this tournament is like only 3 players turned up in this tournament. Was again four actually. Giuliano turned up against PSG as well, and Seattle as well. In this match, Giuliano didn't really turn up that way.
Mm-mm.
But I would say Pablo Barrios, Julian Alvarez, Giuliano, and Jan Oblak. That's it. 4 players. That's it. The rest were all family. I think like rest were literally having their vacation going on. Like they should be. They'll be very happy right now, going back to their holidays and everything. I hope like
Our
they come
preseason
back
starts
with.
soon, huh?
Yeah, I think we have a preseason friendly as well against Newcastle on August in August, 9th August, I guess.
Yeah. So
Ninth. But anyway, I mean, like this tournament has given us definitely a few lessons. For example, we definitely need a dribbler in this team. We don't have a dribbler at all. I mean, like the last time, I mean, Samolino last season was doing that job for us,
got to
but
Marcus.
Samolino hasn't been the same this season. And again, we can't just rely on one player. I think Riquelme was
Oh,
also doing
really
that
good.
job, but again, I think yeah, this season no. We need a good dribbler. We need someone like Carrasco, who's like natural. Again, I mean, like it's so hard to like find such players like Carrasco. Like so versatile. But anyway, we need a dribbler, and we need a number five. Talking about number five, I mean, Johnny Cardoso might be done this week, which is again a happy news. I'm really happy. Like we're finally getting a number five after so long. Finally, I hope it doesn't turn out to be a bad signing. I hope. And then again, we need some quality depth as well because we need someone from the bench like who can actually change the outcome of the match. And I mean, like the first half of the season, our bench was doing that job, but as the season was ending, our bench literally disappeared. So like we need someone on the bench as well, and I think that's why like we need someone up front, which again is a quality and a top player, so like we can have a proper competition with Solot. Because again, when we need goals, and you look at our bench, I didn't really see anyone who could provide the goals. To be honest,
Yeah.
I didn't
I,
see no
I
one.
I think around the 60th minute when we swapped in Koke, we swapped in Griezmann, and who else? Somebody else. I think
And
Korea.
Giuliano came off, and then DePaul came off, Gallagher came off. That's
And it was
three.
Korea who came out.
Yeah, Correa came on, Griezmann came on, Koke came on, Molina came on, Samalino came on.
My first thought after the 60th minute was like, after those first three subs, I was like, okay, so who do you come on? Who comes on now to change this game? Like who genuinely like Lino's not in a good form. Riquelme, I don't know what I'm supposed to expect from him. Molina, like really, he's a right back. What's a right back really gonna do to change
Yeah,
the
like
game?
we didn't really have an option like up front. That's what I'm saying. So like we obviously like that's what I'm saying. Like we need someone up front, like who's a quality striker, like
Carlos Martin was right there. I'm just saying he was right there. Yes. But
you know what?
yeah,
You know what? Maybe I would have fancied it. Maybe I would have fancied it.
this
Carlos Martin
I think
going up
I
front.
think I think the second half was exactly what you said. Is like the problem wasn't necessarily that things were wrong and we didn't try. We tried. It's just like it just felt like it was nothing. It was just like hitting a brick against a wall like nonstop. It's like nothing's gonna happen at the end. Maybe my brick will change. Maybe I'll break through the wall. I don't know. I'm wasting time though. Like that's just kind of how it felt. And it's like Griezmann didn't offer anything. Koke, it felt like, oh nice, you offered a lot that we could have used the past 60 minutes that DePaul just kind of wasted. And because we only have two midfielders, Barrios is back doing the defensive work again instead of really influencing the game like he should be doing. So I don't know.
I mean, you can blame the referees as well, but you have to like blame yourself as well. I think it was like 50-50 literally. And again, the first match against PSG 4-0, I think it did affect us. Those literally half-hearted clearance, I would say, from Llorente Griezmann, costing us, and then that missed chance from Sorloth as well. And then again, the Seattle game, where again we could have like converted that goal difference into a positive one. Again, we missed those chances, whether it was Julian Alvarez or Lot. And again, those three goals literally I have in my eyes. So Lot missing two goals, Julian Alvarez missing that only one. And yeah, even in this match in the first half, I think like he had like a chance. He literally couldn't keep it on target. So I mean, like, but again, still, Alvarez at least do something. Alvarez do something, like he creates something as well. If he can't score, like he creates something. With Sorloth, I can't really see the same. Like, fine, like his stature, his figure, really help us with those long balls and everything. But again, your job is to score goals. You have to score goals. We can't really have another Morata in a team where we actually like because to be honest, we can't really rely on Sorloth. It's not really reliable, and we can't. You know what? Maybe Morata scores one of those chances as well. I have a feeling. Those 4 or 5 chances, maybe Morata can score those as well. But anyway,
I've seen enough of Morata over the years that when push comes to shove, I know he has struggles with mental health and he has all these other things, and I don't want to be too harsh on him. But when push comes to shove, do not trust in Morata to get you to succeed. That's my genuine feelings.
yeah, but like Soloth is literally doing the same at the moment.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's not much
we're not
different.
going, we're
We
not going
spent
anywhere.
40 million to replace Morata with Morata.
Yes. I mean, I can't really say like Morata with Morata. Like he had his chances as well. Like I can't really say like he didn't turn up. Like I remember the Barcelona matches. I remember the game against Getafe. I remember a few like he did good as well. But hopefully, I would say again, I
Hey,
think like it's a
in
much needed holiday for all of us, to be honest.
true, but in Morata's defense, while he did not turn up any Barcelona games, he turned up any Madrid games. Right, last
That's
season, we
that's
had
true.
Madrid's number. We had them
That's
called
true.
out.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Actually, Murata literally had Madrid on toes. That's true. He had Rudiger on toes. That's true. That's true.
So
That's
yeah.
true. I'll give you a fair point. I'll give you a fair point. But I think yeah, again, I think it's a much needed holiday for all of us, the players, the fans, and I hope like the next season when I think 15 August when the season starts, I hope they're like fresh, they are like literally high on energy, they have a really good holiday season at the moment. They can go. I mean, this one I think will stay in US only because I think he loves the country so much. He loves the country so much. But anyway, I think again it's gonna be. People are saying it's gonna be. There gonna be major changes in the club. And
Don't say
I'm,
that.
I won't be surprised if some big name gets sold this summer as well. For example, De Paul and
If
um,
we if we're being serious as a club, right? You look at all of the like last summer signings and say, all right, can we get rid of these players and upgrade them, or are they good enough to stay? Alvarez, obviously, you can't touch. But it's like Gallagher, are you going to find a role for him? Yes or no? No. If it's no, sell him. To Solot, is he going to be your main striker? Yes or no? Are you going to find a starting striker for him? Yes or no? If no to both of those things, you need to sell him.
bro, you're gonna sell the whole team.
No, well, yeah, but it's like
it,
it to me it's obvious that I can't do that, right? Like you can't sell
yeah, but
you should
I
never
think
sell
like
more than three of your starting
yes,
players.
I think yeah, but again, I would say again,
They're
like
pressing
is it
matters.
first season? Is it first season? Sold out was like it was sold out's first season. Like it wasn't really like
Solat
like
is
it was
30. Lenormand is 28. Like
still still
these
still. It's
players are
not
not
like I can't really call these signings like a flop signing.
I wouldn't.
Soldot
That's not
had
my
20
point.
goals.
My
Even the
my point
fact that
wasn't
even the
isn't
fact that
even
like
that.
he scored like 4 or 5 goals later in the season, like fine. But again, I can't really call it a flop signing. I think like everyone needs a much needed holiday. I think, and I
That's
think they
true,
can
but it's just like
come back
but you
stronger.
understand my point, Alex. My point isn't that they're flops. My point isn't that it's like, oh well, yeah, I'm tired of these players. It's like it's more so about Alexander Solat throughout the season, right? He's turned up in the Barcelona games, and in the games that we also need him in the Real Madrid Champions League game. Paris puts in a perfect ball for him. He has easy space. You miss the volley. You know what I mean? Like the Lille game, easy game first to get some separation, give the team some morale. You miss four chances in the first half. The Real Betis game, you do the same thing. Like I can count so many games where you've done this throughout the season, and it's not necessarily your fault because you are not somebody I think an elite club signs at that age to lead the line, right? Solata's only had maybe 2 seasons where he's been particularly really good, and it's been Trabzonspor and Villarreal. And in Villarreal, he had Alex Baena and not Martin, Gerard
Moreno.
Moreno, feeding you. Like two of the best chance creators in Europe are feeding you chances, and you only manage to get this amount of goals. Okay, you know, like it's not his fault. I think our board, you have to look at your mistakes and say seriously, is the Paul the reason that you need to go further? Is Galan the person that you really want? Why did you sign Longley? Who are you trying to replace? Do you look for another Jimenez? Do you try to find a guarantee in Coutinho Romero? All of these things are things that you need to seriously question, but I don't believe that they will. They talked
Yeah, but
about
I think like,
for eight
again,
or
like
all these other people supposed to be leaving, but it's
yes,
like
again,
four of them are
again.
going to be contract leaves.
I know, but again, like we can't really like like we can't literally like
You
look
can't.
at all the pitch right now because I think again, like it won't happen in one transfer window. Like it will take at least I think 2 3 transfer windows, like where you actually like see a different
I
front. Uh,
100% agree. I just think the problem isn't even that. It's like last summer you had a chance to, if you take yourself seriously, put yourself closer towards the other two while also distancing from the rest of the pack, right? We only focus on distancing from the rest of the pack. I know we're upset this summer because we didn't do the other one, but it's just like I know for a fact they're still too focused on this part. Our board has been and will continue to be on this part, which is distancing ourselves from the rest of the pack. They don't see the other part as a realistic situation. And I understand why. These are two giants who have been giants for decades. It's not something that's going to be easy to fix, but they're not even putting in stuff into place. You understand what I mean? Sorry, I don't
yes,
want to cut you off.
yes, but again, I would say I mean, like we need at least 3 players on the left hand side each, and again,
Yep,
like so we have to like rely on the signings. Like Sorloth has to stay, obviously. Like Sorloth will stay for at least I think
yep.
Sorloth will stay for at least 2 seasons or more, and
Gallagher
then
probably stays too.
Gallagher probably stays too. But since he's English, maybe like like he has that like higher selling point. Maybe we can sell him for like a higher price. But anyway, I think like the main focus would be on like the left hand side. We all know like we need, and like now I can understand like the club chipping out on the left back position, because again like you have a lot of positions to fill, and like if you get something like a cheap option like Andy Robertson, like now I think like, I can understand their situation right now, not spending 20 million or something on the left back position, because again like those clubs literally need like Man United, like it needs a heart surgery. I mean, like we the only luxury of a player we have is Julian Alvarez up front. That's it. We literally have to build the team around him. So it has to be like slowly. Obviously, it has to be one by one. But I can understand now. We are almost gonna sign Johnny Cardoso right now for almost 30 plus million. Okay, which I think 30 million plus for Johnny Cardoso. I think it's a good deal. Makes sense why it took so long, because again they were asking for around 40 or something, and like Atleti lowered that price. Literally came to 30 now. Understandable. Andy Robertson again. If like I reflected on it, again it's understandable why you wanna cheap out on that position, because again I mean like if you're getting like 2 years from Andy Robertson, like a good 2 years from Andy Robertson, I think that position is fixed. The left back, you don't have to like look for left back option for the next 2 years. Again, if Alex Payne comes in again, I think the left hand side is sorted with Alex Payne and Andy Robertson. Sorted. Alex Payne is a hard worker. Like he will literally go from our midfield to the opposition midfield. He is a hard worker. Uh,
Hmm.
and you fix that left hand. Imagine like Andy Robertson comes in cheap, and Alex Payne we get him for cheap as well. So like we literally fix the left hand side for at least what 40 to 50 million. Which again I would say it's good business. And then again you sign Johnny Cardoso for 30 million or something. Now I think this is where I think the club might spend big with Coutinho option, because again he's one of the best centre backs in the world at the moment. So maybe that's why you're gonna cheap out on different positions and going for that major signing, because again we need good defenders. So I'm like, this is Atletico de Madrid. We've been known for having good defenders, having those fierce defenders, which we've been lacking since ever since Godin left us. I mean, like the last time I saw those were defender were Savic and Jimenez itself, which again they literally went on to play and play and play, and then they got older. And Felipe, for the first season of Felipe with us, I think Felipe was really good as well. But anyway, I think we'll spend big. I think on the position which we really lack, and I think at the point is the centre back position. And I think with Linomant, we can be used as a like a squad player. Like we can rotate him, and again, it won't happen obviously in Capi and Romero in one transfer window, but it can't. But one has to come, definitely. One has to come. But again, like I kind of like believe in the club right now, the way they're going. And again, I haven't heard any stupid news from the club as well for the
At
transfer
least
target.
not recently.
At least not recently. So like I can see, and like I can understand the Johnny Carlos about 30 million as well, and the Robertson, and then I can understand those like like taking those pieces, because again, and then at the run to the transfer window, like when you get this target, like you see like where else you lack, because again, like if anything, this club World Cup was, it was like a big eye opener for a lot of things.
I
I
think it was
hope
an eye
our
opener for the board. I think they expected a lot out of the squad, and they failed us in the areas we really expected it to fail.
exactly. So I hope they do. We have, I think, not they do. I mean, I hope we have like a really good transfer window in the summer. I hope, like like we have those fresh legs, we have those young legs as well. Let's say the players like Johnny Cardoso is 24. Like we get those young players as well. Not, I mean, like we just 2 seasons ago we were just talking about like like having those Samuel Dion, Samulino, Riquelme, Paulo Barrios, Giuliano, and then we were talking about all of these players, being our next generation of Atletico players. Yeah,
Well, we let
and
it go.
now we're yeah, and now like only one player is safe out of those, which is Giuliano Simeone, and that's it. And I think like Giuliano Simeone wasn't even in the frame at that moment, and yeah, not to forget Pablo Barrios as well. But yeah, anyway, guys, this turned out to be a long video because again, like we had to like get it out of our chest. And we will see you guys soon, where we'll I think talk about like more the transfer news and like if there is any news coming up. Make sure you follow us on Twitter as well for all the latest news, and
Yeah.
like, share, and subscribe to our channel because again the transfer window will come. There will be a lot of news. There will be a lot of new videos. So make sure like you don't miss out on any of those news and videos as well. And do let us know your opinions. What do you think about the match? What do you think about the exit from the Club World Cup? Is it like a blessing in disguise, or is it like really embarrassing? But we'll see. I mean, as long as Real Madrid doesn't win this tournament, I'm fine with it. Or even Man City. For me, Flamengo wins. For me, I'm happy. I'll celebrate it as my own victory. But anyway, guys, do let us know your opinions. What do you think about it? And until then, Atleti. We'll see you guys soon.